Hi, my name's Tony and I'm from the SIC Company, and I'm here to tell you a little bit more about the SIC 14 by 28 Okeanos. So here it is, it's back for 2020. Arguably one of, if not the best 14-foot touring board available on the market. And that's quite a bold statement, I've got to be honest, and I'll justify that. You'll find there's a lot of 14-foot touring boards out there are excellent in flat water conditions, and, justify the statement, and they are better at out-and-out flat water performance than the Okeanos, no question. But when it starts to chop up, when it starts to get a little bit rough, the conditions become a little bit more testing, that is where this board really comes into its own. And that, if anything, is the reason why I make that statement, in that the board has such a broad range of use for what is a very efficient, well-made touring board, that's what really sets it apart from everything else. If you are paddling predominantly on flat water, this board will still work for you, no question. If you want to carry loads and loads of kit, this board will still work for you, absolutely. But if you're paddling beyond that and it's not flat all the time, and you want to go and have an adventure on a touring board that will push you into some varied conditions, the Okeanos has to be on your shortlist, and it's well worth a look. The reason for that is just how capable this board is, and there's a number of features within its design that allows it to perform in such a way. So look, let's run you through from the nose down to the tail as we do in all of our videos. When looking at the nose on this board, you would be forgiven for saying, is that not an SIC RS? And that RS inspiration is probably at the heart of the nose of this board, and ultimately its overall performance, because it does carry a lot of similarities, particularly how the volume is distributed through in the nose. There are some changes to that on the underside that are very different from the RS, but we'll come on to that once we flip the board over. But on the whole, the nose itself, it fills out very, very quickly, achieves the board width very quickly, and leads to a very, very stable board. Aesthetically, it is stunning. The quality and finish on this board, is exceptional. You would be very, very hard pushed to find a single blemish on a board of this size. It is just markedly improved over 2019, and the quality is excellent. This wood finish, this wood veneer running on the front, is a beautiful feature. Runs a nice silver tattoo type Japanese inspired graphic of some waves breaking on the front. It's the same graphic as in 2019 rather. The deck pad throws a lot of people on this board because it covers more than 2/3 of the entire surface of the board, and that is really nice from a touring perspective. I've actually paddled this board over some pretty significant distances with my son, who's 9 now, and yeah, we've had a barrel of laughs on it, carried a huge amount of kit at the same time, and with a volume of 305 litres and some relatively challenging swell that we've been out in, yeah, it's proved an awful lot of fun. The board though, you won't struggle to carry luggage on it. Great big bungee up front. We've got a Gore-Tex vent as well, so you don't have to worry about adjusting that ever. And there is a massive bungee system on the tail of this board, and really it's the volume within the board that you can carry a lot of kit on it, and you're not going to notice it in terms of board trim too much, because you can load it up. The nice feature on all SIC boards is the carry handle. It's a unique selling point for them. It's such security when handling the board and lifting it, particularly when it's laden with kit. It makes manoeuvring a 14-foot board very, very easy. But it's around this area on the deck where we noticed one of the big changes that we picked up on here at the SIC Company, because SIC have said there haven't been any changes, but there are definitely some small tweaks made to this board. And on the 2019 model, the rail was quite pronounced up by the edges of the deck pad, so you did find that you weren't able really to maximise the full 28-inch width of the board within your standing area, but this has been flattened out. They've dropped the rails down slightly. and then just made it much more intuitive for your feet and for your standing area. It doesn't feel like you're being impeded in any way. The deck pad though runs all the way back down. You've still got the same colour scheme and contrast there with this nice orange stripe breaking everything up. And then you've got a leashing point down there on the tail. Now the tail on the Okeanos is worthy of note. It is probably the widest tail we've seen on any board ever. It clocks in at just over 17 inches of tail width. That means one thing on this board, and that's stability. This board is crazy stable for its 28-inch width. It feels much, much wider when you're paddling it, but the nice thing is because it's a 28-inch wide board, it allows you to get the paddle that much nearer to the center line, so tracking is then improved, and ultimately your efficiency when you're paddling is also. But look, let's take the board and pop it over onto its other side. It's worth noting that this board is in SIC's Dragonfly construction. It's not as light, anywhere near as light as a full-blown, say, SIC RS in their Superfly full carbon construction. But the boards have proven to be extremely robust. We have a customer that actually has a 2019 Okeanos. Unfortunately, in loading it on the roof of his car, he actually dropped it. It fell straight out of his hand and dropped probably about 2 feet off onto the concrete floor on its rail. It bounced and he caught it on the bounce because of the SIC handle, and the board just had a couple of scratches on it. I can't say you're going to be as lucky as another board or perhaps an Okeanos again as he was, but really it's testament to the overall construction of the board and how SIC have taken great care and detail in placing reinforcement not only in the nose and tail of the board, but also through the areas of the rail where the board is likely to pick up knocks over a period of time. On the underside of the board though, you can notice pretty prominently that there is a very pronounced bow nose section to it that's providing a much more of a locked in feel than you would perhaps anticipate you get from the nose from the deck side. That leads forward to a flatter nose section in 2020. That's generating a little bit more lift. It is marginally noticeable when paddling the board compared to the 2019 model. I would say that, you know, the feedback that SIC have had from those using the board in flatter water conditions, that's kind of been fed into the design now. And it's a nice improvement if you are paddling flat water with some occasional choppy use. It is a nice touch. As the board though runs all the way down towards the tail, you can then see you've got this RS inspired channel that runs all the way out to the tail of that very wide tail that you have on the Okeanos, and that's just improving tracking again, and on a board like this, stopping any sideways slip. Notably, we do have back on the Okeanos, and it's a very popular, very nice feature, is the FCS2 thruster fin box. Boxes on either side of the center fin arrangement. So if you are running this board in shallow water conditions and you want to run a shorter fin setup, you do have that option. But the board as standard comes with SIC's tried and trusted 3K full carbon fin setup. It is, you know, one of, if not the best fins that we've seen come with any performance orientated board, and it's arguably lighter and stronger than some aftermarket fins out there. All in all, in 2020, if you're looking for a very, very efficient, very robust, very capable touring board, then this SIC Okeanos is certainly well worth a look, and you are more than welcome to come down and test the board at our test centre in Southampton. Thanks for watching our video. If you want any more info, then why not give us a call in the shop or head over to thesupco.com. If you want to stay up to date with all of our videos, why not subscribe up here and hit the notification bell. If you just want to see our next video, well, take a look up here.